we're going to start off with our lovely Aries. Aries, tune in. Here we go. Aries, 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 my darling Aries. Where are your divine messages? What is coming up for you this full moon? There you are. And next. Taurus. Lovely Geminis. I'm sure all my Geminis are being affected. I know my son, he's a Gemini. He always goes crazy around these full moons, especially when it's in his sign. Cancers. There we are, my Cancerians. Leos. Virgo. Libra to my Scorpios. Aquarius. Pisces. Just popped right out for you. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and work with oracle cards. So we're now looking for a collective message for Aries. Taurus. Gemini. I dropped the card. Here we are. Cancers. Leos. Virgo. Libra. Sag. Cats. Oh, Capricorns. Love you guys. Your energy is so present right now. Caps. Here we go. Aquarius. Aquarius. And Pisces. Ooh. Okay. Here we go. So tuning in, we have Aries, This is all about you, Aries. Okay, so you received the Three of Chalices, also known as the Three of Cups. So this is a very, signifies a time of celebration, right? The number 3 in astrology also signifies time of creation. So this is saying that whatever you've been creating, you must already have begun to see it coming to fruition. You must already start seeing the fruits of your labors, is what I'm hearing right now. Three of Chalices is a celebration card, celebrating your support system, celebrating your relationships. Also saying that you have recently cleared out a lot of people in your life, and this has made way for new connections, or even to heighten or to really solidify the connections that you already do have, right? To a place where you're bringing it to a higher place. Like the relationship and the connection just received an upgrade from the amount of work that you've been doing on yourself, more so emotionally, right? So remember how last new moon, if I remember, however I'm hearing, this is what they're saying. So from the last new moon there, you were very much tested, and you held your tongue and you did really good, which is something that I know Aries never does. And now they're saying that you are now recognizing how you've been able to upgrade yourself. And this has brought your relationships and your connections, not just even like not just your relationships, like I'm talking friendships and relationship that wise. This can even be not just personal. This could also be even in business, is what I'm hearing. You have done you have paid your dues, and you have done the necessary work that now you have created a very good foundation to start creating from, basically. And people are seeing you, and they're saying, your angels are saying, it's time for you to celebrate, because you did something very, very, not just important for yourself, but that work that you did on yourself just seeped out to others as well. And those others being those who are in your life. So good job on you, Aries. You're in a time right now where you just get to relax and you get to enjoy. Okay. For your oracle card, you receive the end of a tough cycle approaches. Full moon in Capricorn, right? So again, this is saying that, whatever you were being tested with from the new moon, you passed those tests, right? This is showing you that you've already gone through whatever it is you needed to go through, and you're already taking your next steps forward. You've already taken 1, 2, 3, for example, if we were to look at it from a scale of 1 to 10. You've already taken those 3 steps forward, right? So keep going, Aries. Just know the worst is behind you now, okay? You've done very good emotionally for yourself and for others. So it's time for you to celebrate. Now moving on to Taurus. Taurus. Oh, my divine Taurians. You have been tested. You have been tested, and somewhere along the lines, you decided that you weren't enough. Somewhere along the lines, you decided that you were going to give up your power. And I'm here to remind you, take your power back immediately. I understand if you were to try to look into your reflection, you might not be able to see exactly what you're wanting, and that's all right. It doesn't mean that you can't attain what it is that you're wanting, whether that be the relationship that you have with yourself or the relationship that you hold with others. It's important to recognize when you are stuck in a power struggle, most importantly. Why I'm speaking to you in this way is because you received the Eight of Athens, the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords talks about a person who has power, but it's restricted. And that restriction is actually self-imposed, meaning you have the key to take off the shackles. However, you would rather wallow and keep those shackles on. And that's okay, Taurus. If you choose to wallow, that's fine. However, please recognize you have the power to take yourself out of that. When did you decide you weren't enough? And I want you to start recognizing you are enough and you do have the power. Utilizing affirmations, for example, is a great way to really boost yourself and to take back your power energetically, most importantly, right? I understand that you may be victimized from someone else that is causing you to feel less than. However, when did you decide that they were allowed to say those things to you? When did you decide that you were going to allow yourself to be in a role of victim? Okay, these are really important questions I want you to ask yourself. And I want you to recognize your own power and ways that you can really step up. Okay, take off that blindfold, grab that key, take off those shackles, free yourself, right? Mental freedom. It's possible, it's completely attainable. Your oracle card that you received is "You are good enough." So a beautiful divine reminder from your angels that you are absolutely enough. You are absolutely worth it. And you absolutely have everything you need, including the key to take off those shackles, whether you believe it or not. The key is in believing. So please believe in yourself, lovely, because you definitely are worth it. You are so enough. Gemini. Oh, my sweet, sweet Gemini. You have so much on the go right now for yourself. You should be so proud of yourself because you have been taking on loads and loads and loads. I am hearing that you have also been, anything that has been stagnant in the past, you're most likely seeing things get moving, right? And I know that maybe you're sitting there wondering like, uh-oh, okay, everything's now moving. Something I wanted to get done, say in the summertime, it was stagnant, for whatever reason, it didn't happen. And then from the summer to now, you've been taking on all these little tasks, right? Taking on these workloads, so to say. Now the peak has hit, especially with this moon in your sign, where you're recognizing, whoops, I may have bitten off a little bit more than I can chew, but that's all right. Okay, I want you to prioritize. Prioritizing is so beneficial for you right now. Okay, know you can do it and you will get it done. However, prioritizing and time management is really important for you right now. And please be very assertive with yourself and recognizing, like, be completely truthful. Is what is on your plate too much for you? And if it is, again, prioritize what needs to come first. You have the time right now to get it all done. And I understand you've put a lot on your plate. However, you've been hungry and you've been asking for this. So the universe is providing exactly what you're needing. You're exactly where you need to be to continue and moving forward. With this number 10, right, the numerology 10, you're coming to the end of a cycle. Things are starting to wrap up. You're coming to the end of your chapter because you're about to start a new one, okay? So make sure you're prioritizing. Sever all those little ends, right? Get everything completely done, and you will, okay? Just keep reminding yourself. However, you also received your oracle card is meditate and contemplate. So it's important that you are meditating on what it is you're creating. So whatever it is that you have on your plate, whatever you're prioritizing, it's also important that you use the power of visualization. Use your mind. You love mental stimulation, right? So please use the power of your mind, use meditation to really, again, prioritize. If there's something that you want to get done, visualize it being done. Visualize it to take yourself to a place in your mind where you see everything that you want done, okay? Also take yourself in your mind so you can also get back to center. So breath work, meditations are great for bringing you back to center. Find ways that you can get yourself in the zone because you do got a lot going on. So keeping yourself nice and focused is a really great key for you in moving forward right now, okay? Cancers. Hmm. Okay, Cancers. You guys have been doing really, really good lately. You received the star. So right now you are going through some sort of internal transformation. There's an internal shift occurring, and it's actually completely in your favor. And I know it might feel uncomfortable at first because all shifts, anything that's not familiar, is always going to be a little bit uncomfortable at first. But I just want you to know, and I'm here to remind you that that uncomfortability is exactly the sign that you need to know that things are working out in your favor. When you receive the star card, this just shows that whatever you are going to touch is going to turn to gold. Think of it like the Midas touch card in a sense. So whatever you are right now currently cultivating, it's important that you go for it. I'm hearing you very much need to go for it. Have confidence and faith in yourself, most importantly. Okay. I know that things may have been challenging, and you're so, Cancers are just incredibly sensitive, right? Like, I'm a Cancer sun sign. So I know the minute that something kind of happens that perhaps I didn't want it to happen that way, I immediately retreat into my shell. And this card is saying, don't retreat into that shell. Okay. It's a disservice by retreating into that shell, actually, is what I'm hearing. So, you know, go towards the uncomfortability. Know that it's all right for you to challenge yourself, because within that challenge, there's going to be so much power, so much potential that you are going to be creating for yourself. Okay. So go be a star. You also received, for the Oracle card, bring love into the situation, right? So this is saying that whatever you're touching, make sure that you're infusing it with love. And that is literally how you're going to have that Midas touch. Okay. So whatever you're doing, do it with your whole heart. Okay. Not just doing it with your whole heart. It's also important to remember, when we're wanting to create something on the outside, it has to first come and cultivate from the inside. Okay. So whatever it is that you want to see, you need to make sure that you're working on that within you first. So if you want to bring more love into your outside world, you need to now bring more love into you. Okay. Your inside world, internally, what is going on. Okay. Again, all of that is going to help you align to this star card and really bring out that energy, that luck, that abundance, that expansiveness. And we're in Sagittarian season, all about expansion. Okay, so work with those energies, because they're very much trying to work with you in creating and allowing you to really step into that shift, that beautiful divine shift that's occurring for you. Okay, thank you. Leos, breakthroughs. Wow. Leos, you had a lot of strife about 2 weeks ago placed on you. And in the last 2 weeks, you have been doing amazing at striding forward, is what I'm hearing. You really stepped up as a leader for yourself, and you even showed yourself a thing or two, didn't you? You received the Wheel card. So again, my Leos, you are also going through a divine transformation within. There's some internal shift that is occurring. And I want you to know, everything that is occurring right now is completely in your favor, 100%. This is such an auspicious card to receive, showing things are in wholeness, they're in balance, okay? Anything, again, that you are trying to create, right? Think bigger picture. What is the bigger picture to what it is that you're trying to create, right? And if you find yourself tuning into the small little itty bitty things of life, I want you to remember your expansiveness as well, Leo. Bring yourself out to the bigger picture, right? As that leader, as the king or queen of your castle, of your jungle, sorry, bring yourself out to that picture, okay? And how exactly, I'm hearing it's really important, especially for your vision moving forward with 2021. Like, this is, we're right at the last month here, Leo, and it's important that you really bring things together for yourself right now. Think bigger picture. So, what is your vision again for 2021? I want you to get really serious and in tune to this 2021 vision. Okay. What is it that you're wanting to cultivate? There is a lot supporting you. I'm really excited for you, Leo, because I can feel the support. I can feel, okay, I want you to feel this. So I want you to ask yourself, what would you do and how would you plan if you knew every single thing that you were going to plan was going to come to fruition? What would you do if you were completely supported financially, personally, emotionally, psychologically, spiritually, right? Physically? What would you do? I'm hearing health. Health is a huge theme also, right? How are you going to heal yourself? How are you going to step up, be that self-efficient self-healer? Okay. I want you to include everything: who you're going to work with, who you intend to work with, what you intend to do. What do you want to invite into your life? You have this beautiful golden ticket right now that's saying, I want you to create a beautiful vision, and I want you to know that I'm supporting you with creating this vision. So it's a great idea to use this full moon to really reflect. I know that we use the new moon to write our intentions. However, I want you to reflect on what behaviors are not in alignment with you, what thought processes are not in alignment with your vision and what it is that you're wanting to create and where you're wanting to go. Okay. The oracle card that you received is hold your vision. So that's giving you more confirmation and validation that this vision, this bigger vision that you're trying to create and where you're stepping into and where your mind keeps going, it's important that you hold that vision. Okay, don't lose faith. Keep stepping up as those leaders, exactly as you are, exactly as you have been, because look at you, turn things around no matter what is weighing on you. Okay, you totally have the power, and use that divine fire. Okay, use it, burn away everything that doesn't serve you, and just show up, shine bright, warm up the rest of us. Okay, thank you. Virgo, my divine Virgos, you were feeling on top of your game 2 weeks ago at that new moon, weren't you? I can definitely sense that. And now things are really hitting the fan for you. Things have hit the fan. The elephant in the room is being spotted. There is something that you know that has reached complete ruin, in a sense. I want you to remember, Virgo, whatever it is that's blowing up in your face, understand that the universe has your back, okay? And they've been trying to communicate something to you. Now, your angels aren't telling me what it is. Whatever it is to you individually, Virgos, talking to Virgos, Virgo suns, moons, and risings. There is something there, Virgo, that your angels are saying, if you were not equipped to deal with it, we wouldn't. So it's interesting because your angels are saying that they have been definitely signaling and doing their best to communicate with you. Certain situations, people, relationships that, you're supposed to be letting go in a sense, or there was multiple opportunities is what I'm hearing. And you decided to give them the benefit of the doubt, right? You decided, you did your pros and cons and you figured out there's more pros and cons, right? Which was good. However, now it's really coming back to bite you in the butt is what I'm hearing. And I know that's how you're feeling is what I can feel at. And this card is just, it's coming to remind you that surrender, right? It's okay to surrender. It's okay that even though you did those lists, it's still not working out in your favor. That's okay too. It doesn't mean that it doesn't mean you're incapable, because you're perfectly capable. You're 100% capable of creating your heaven on earth, of not just creating your heaven on earth, but you're perfectly capable of knowing what should stay and what shouldn't be in your life, right? You're very analytical and you're very grounded, and you can use that to your advantage, especially with what is blowing up in your face right now. I'm hearing, although the situation is messy, whatever the situation is, it's important that you recognize that your angels are providing you with a divine opportunity for you to do things the way you actually want to, do things your way. And I understand that that may be a little bit frightening for you to then now have to step up, right? Especially to play positions where you thought that you had certain people who could play those positions for you, and you're recognizing how, yeah, those aren't the right people for you, right? And that's okay, because you do have it in you. You were able to know those people were the people for that position because you are actually the one who's completely qualified. So although it may seem daunting to have to play all those roles for yourself, however they may be, you are still capable of doing it, Virgo. Okay? That's where I want you to focus, what you are capable of doing. And not just that, but when you release those and you surrender, you're going to recognize how much, when you release it and surrender, you're going to recognize how much space you've now created. And you'll see how life will start to shift, and you'll start to actually call in those for those roles that you're wanting. Okay? The Oracle card is be bold and make the first move. So whatever has been poking at you and just playing, like swords is all about our mental mind. So whatever is playing over and over in that mental mind, it's important you take action, right? Be bold and make that first move, right? Perhaps even these individuals, they're not going to leave. You're going to have to assert your boundaries. Might make you a little uncomfortable. However, like I said at the beginning of this reading, uncomfortability leads the way right now, okay? Because right now we're in the mode of releasing, surrendering, and what's uncomfortable for us, it's time that we face that, because that's going to create some great momentum and clear out anything that's not serving us, especially for what is coming for this December 21st, okay? And again, I'm not saying what is coming in a sense. I want you guys to be empowered when you hear that. I want you to look forward to this energetic upgrade, to this shift, to this conscious shift that we're all going to receive as a collective, okay? It's going to mean that we're all going to start recognizing our own shit, and we're going to realize where we need to step up so we can be better people, so we can actually see a better world, okay? Thank you, Virgo. Libra. Libra. Libra, you receive the Knight of Wands. You have been taking some action. And not only have you been taking your action, you are stepping in a way that is allowing you to even defend your position in a sense, right? You have come to a place with yourself where you actually have found something, and nobody can take that away from you, whatever it is that you found. And I just want to say I'm so proud of you, Libra. I understand self-mastery is never easy. And I know right now you don't feel like you're mastering much. However, you are. I need to applaud you for the amount of soul work that you have been doing, again, behind the scenes. How you've been doing your best to keep those scales harmonized. Knight of Wands talks about ambitions. And you have found something that really ignites you, right? Actually, I'm hearing you've been on this path of this ignition, this soul ignition, right?
And you're really at a very transitional point where you are definitely that knight, right? So it's like stepping into the knighthood. It's very honorable. However, there's steps to that. There's steps to that attainment. There's steps to the mastery. And you're very close. You're very, very much there. For many, I would say you are those knight in shining armors now for yourself, in a sense, right? However, I do want to point out, then you receive this oracle card that says, don't let your past hold you back. Okay? Don't let your past hold you back. And I believe that's where this notion of defense comes into play. Because you've found something, you've attained something, you've done work on yourself, or you found something personally, and it's something that you created yourself that nobody else can come and take away from you. And I know that these people who have this image of you, you know, from this old you, or, you know, they have an outdated version of you. And I understand, as sensitive as you are, Libra, you may be picking that up. But I want you to know you're in a very transitional stage of your life, a very transitional moment where it's important you recognize you don't need to even fight that. Send that love, right? It's important for you right now, utilizing this full moon energy, to reflect on your wisdom. Reflect how far you've come on your journey. Reflect everything that you've done, all the creations, right? How have you fed yourself creatively? Because you've done a lot. And not just you've done it, you've actually attained something worth it, right? What kind of keeps coming to mind is almost as though you have found a kingdom and now you are there defending it, right? But I'm also hearing this divine message. It's not about defending this divine kingdom. It's about recognizing your role in this divine kingdom and recognizing that you can create wonderful, assertive boundaries for yourself that will then allow you to still have those past connections. And regardless if other people want to have outdated versions of you in their mind, it's not your responsibility. Your responsibility is you and what you're doing and what you're cultivating. And I want you to keep going. Don't let past behaviors or habits or even people's ideas of you from the past hold you back, because you're doing amazing, Libra. Thank you. Scorpio. 9 of Wands. You receive the 9 of Wands. And this can come up as quite a defense card also. 9 being the ending of a cycle, right? 9, when we see the number 9 in numerology, and when we see 9 even repetitively, it's usually all about light working as well. So stepping up as a light leader, stepping up as a leader in your community, stepping up as a leader and provide a protector for the underdog even, right? 9 of Wands, when we have that Wands energy, that fire, that ambition, it shows that there's something that you're very much creating. Sorry, not creating. There's a creative endeavor that you are protecting. It's what I'm hearing. And it's interesting because I'm hearing that you've already had to deal with this earlier in the year, whatever that defensive notion is. You may feel like you have won before, and you're still winning now, is what I'm hearing. However, there is a part of you that does recognize that there is still more to be fought. And you know what? That's okay, because you're completely prepared for it. You have all your wands in a row, and you know exactly what you need to do. You know how to go into battle, and you'll know how to also conquer. And how do I know that you know? Because you've already done it before. I know that might not seem like the best news. However, I want you to know that this is coming to you because it's reminding you that whatever adversity you may be faced with, you are going to overcome it because you've already gone through it. So it's important you remember those steps on how you overcame it and how you stayed above water, how you protected and provided, right? Let's see here what your, so your oracle card is your commitment is being tested. So again, a divine message from your angels stating, hey, you're going through something here. You're very much being tested. However, you are going to pass that test. And the way that you're going to pass that test is really by committing to yourself and your truth. Most importantly, what do you stand for? What ground do you stand on? What gives you the right? And I want you to really reflect on those questions, okay? And answer them. Answer them compassionately and to the highest for yourself. I want you to take a moment before you answer those questions, and I want you to really step into your heart center and get into your highest self. Okay, look at things from an angelic perspective or a bird's eye view. Okay, and I want you to figure out the best way forward through those lenses. Okay? You're going to do amazing with it. Because remember, any adversity or challenge that's presented to you, it's presented to you so you can continuously up level and reach the place that you're wanting to, reach the place that you have been desiring. Okay? Because if it was meant to come and break you, well, you've already done it before and it didn't break you then. So it's not going to break you now. Thank you. Sag. Sagittarians. Oh, my star Sagittarius. So you received the Queen of Swords. So the Queen of Swords, she's a very independent, divine, wise, cutthroat type persona. Okay. This could be talking even about yourself, or it could be talking about a woman in your life, right? I am hearing that Sagittarians, you are learning to bring in that, sorry, you have already learned. You are now integrating this divine feminine energy that you've been playing with. And it's beautiful because now that you've integrated it within your body, you are now connecting to it at a mental level. This full moon is really stimulating you. It's giving you all these different ideas, right? The womb of creation is so potent and fertile right now for you. And this Queen of Swords is coming through because it's a beautiful message that's saying you must, first of all, trust. Second of all, take note. And third of all, So, okay, we're just gonna, third of all it went very, very blurry, but there was something else that came in as third of all went blurry. So there's almost this notion of the past 2 weeks, you've been really feeling, for whatever reason, the word prisoner keeps coming up, almost like prisoner of your own mind, right? You've also been received with a lot of Debbie Downers, or it's like that the misery loves company individuals. And your angels are saying you have done so amazing at staying in the divine feminine energy, rising up and leading with your mind, not through your feeling. And I'm hearing that you've done such an amazing job at doing that as well. And it's important that you recognize these new superpowers that you have cultivated for yourself through all of that strife that you received from those Debbie Downers or those people that were really challenging you. And recognize the way that you're leading. Yes, you're totally within your heart center. You're exuding that love, that nurturement, the compassion. However, recognize how you had to be a little bit more precise. Your intellect was needing to be utilized, and there was a reason for that. Think of those like mental tests. They were like mental exercises for you, Sagittarius. And I'm hearing, of course, you definitely have been passing them. And if you're still in the middle of receiving that, please know the way forward is that mental stimulation. So getting yourself out of your heart, so out of those feelings, because perhaps these things that people are saying to you might be hurting your feelings a little. Take yourself out of your feelings, get into your heart, and connect to your highest self take yourself out of your feelings, get into your head, and take yourself out of that hurt feeling and bring yourself into that higher dimensional, higher plane, higher mental plane, right? So how can you continue being your best self, continue showing up as your highest self, but also asserting yourself so you don't take no more shit, so people can't come and poke at you, or misery loves, like you're not going to keep miserable company anymore. Okay. And then you received for your oracle card a fiery climax approaches. So this is also saying that it's important that you do recognize all of those mental exercises that you've been doing for yourself, and including the experiences that have been coming about and causing you to then step up into that mental mind and really exercise it, and not just exercise it, like lead with it. Lead with it. It's important you lead with it. Things may have already popped off today, or they may be popping off in the next week, right? However, continuously set those loving, assertive boundaries, okay? Like remind people who you are, Sagittarius. People can't come and mess with you that way, okay? And if you find yourself stuck and really sucked into that misery loves company energy, I want you to rise above and get into your divine feminine energy, okay? Be that nurturer, that compassionate nurturer, right? But don't do it from the heart, because you're not going to win that way. It's important that you do it from the intellect. And it's not about winning. It's about allowing yourself to keep in alignment. Okay, so you can keep your energy moving. That's how you want to keep your energy moving. Okay, most importantly. Thank you. Capricorn. You have... So you received the Three of Swords. The Three of Swords is one of the most dramatic cards of the tarot deck. Okay, so this right away is telling me that you have been going through so much emotionally, so much within your life, so much action, so much like your sensitivities. You're literally absorbing it all. Like you might even feel a little bit of like an emotional basket case, because Capricorns, they're not used to feeling that much emotion. They're like up, down, all around. There's all of this change, this shift that's been coming into play for you. And oh my goodness, it's so abundant, and you know exactly, you definitely, and I know there might be a part of you, right? This is why this card's coming through, because there's a part of you that's like, oh God, this is so much. This is like too much for me. Like this is like, I'm actually going crazy. Like I must be going crazy because I'm high, I'm low, I'm up, I'm down, I'm happy, I'm sad, I'm bursting with emotion, and then I'm totally cool, calm, and collective, right? Collected, you're there, you're everywhere. So let's bring you back. I could understand that. I'm a Cancer. I'm extremely sensitive. My moon sign is Pisces. I mean, we're going to get to Pisces, but I get when it comes to sensitivities, right? I totally understand that. And you're feeling everything. You're feeling the good, bad, the ugly, right? more so the good than anything is what I'm tuning into. Um, you're really recognizing everything that you've created, and it's been a lot. Make sure you're giving yourself a pat on the back, or you're taking some time to celebrate yourself because you have done a lot, Capricorn. And your angels are saying it's okay. It's okay for you to feel this up and down and all around. It's really important right now that you honor yourself and that you recognize those sensitivities as superpowers as well. Okay, because they absolutely are. I know, again, you don't like to feel those emotions, and that's all right. However, through that feeling, you're completely upgrading. Okay, so make sure as those feelings come over you, be present with them. Take the time to feel them, bring them in, integrate them, release them, surrender to them, whatever it is that you feel you need to do. You've been doing so well, I feel like I don't even need to tell you what it is that you need to do because you're on such a great level for yourself. Okay? It's important though that you do remember your sensitivities and that you are a very sensitive divine being. Frankly, I couldn't imagine being an empath and being a Capricorn at the same time. That's a lot that comes with it. However, I know your grounded energy can totally stabilize that, right? And this card, the three of Athens, Three of Swords, coming to you right now, saying, I know it doesn't feel like that. You kind of feel like, whoa, there's a lot going on for me right now, and I don't know how to exactly stabilize this out. However, I'm hearing, yeah, you do. And you do that by doing what you don't like to do, and that's to feel and to honor those feelings. Okay? Get intimate with yourself. So important you get intimate with yourself because you're so intimate with everybody else and you do an amazing job at showing up for everybody else. It's time for you to now be intimate with you. Okay? And give back to you the way that you give to everybody else. Be that stability for you right now. Okay? It's very important because you deserve it. You're going through something. Okay? Recognize that. There's nothing wrong with that. You've done a whole lot this year, Capricorn. The Oracle card you received is balance, spirituality, and practicality, right? So you're experiencing these severe sensitivities because your higher self is saying, hey, how have you been feeding yourself spiritually? How have we been feeding ourselves, even just in everyday life? What is our routine of self-care like, right? And I'm also hearing a lot of you Capricorns, you guys have been doing amazing at even paying attention to both sides, okay? And I'm hearing that your angels are just coming. This is just some extra validation for you that yes, you're on the right track and you're doing exactly what you need to do to keep yourself in alignment, okay? So keep up with it. You're not crazy. You know exactly what you're doing, okay? And of everybody, you know damn straight what you're doing. Make sure you're celebrating yourself and honoring those sensitivities because they're absolute superpowers, okay? Aquarius. Aquarius, you have just gone through some sort of divine evolution, haven't you? There is a relationship that has been cultivated or been cultivating. You receive the Two of Chalices. Okay, so Two of Chalices, like two is the number of duality and harmony. Chalice is the number, or sorry, it's a suit that works with our emotions, right? It's the element of water, which works with our emotional nature. So this Two of Chalices is talking about a partnership of some sort, whether that be a partnership with yourself, partnership with another, partnership in business. There's some sort of divine partnership that is worth celebrating, that has been cultivated, and that is it's in the works. Like there's something that has, like, you just stepped into a whole new it's like a new phase in your relationship, or rekindled something within your relationship, or rekindled something within yourself. I'm even hearing finding like you've been really confused over the past couple of years, I'm hearing, And you're really starting to come back. Like things are starting to come full circle for you, where you're really recognizing that relationship with yourself, and you're also doing an amazing job at pouring into the relationships around you, and you're creating some beautiful harmony for yourself. Those are some giant quantum leaps that I'm hearing you've been creating for yourself with those relationships, especially for relationships that have been within your life, especially in the past couple of years, that have been really disharmonious, very discorded. You've been doing an amazing job at bringing harmony back to those relationships, most importantly for yourself. So good job, Aquarius. The card that you received for your oracle card is a new start is coming, right? So what you are actually cultivating is showing that just you're doing very, very good. And I'm sure you've already been feeling there's this new energy that's coming in for you, right? Especially when it comes to your emotional matters. You're really starting to figure out how to support yourself emotionally, most importantly. And you're recognizing how that emotional support and how you're feeding into yourself and how you're feeding and taking care of yourself is now trickling out into your relationships. And that's just started a whole new level for you. Like, you're not going to go back to those dysfunctional relationships, whether that be with yourself, others, business, personal, like I was saying. You're totally stepping into a whole new phase, a whole new chapter. Like there's a completely new slate being given to you. And then when it comes to emotional matters, is more so what we're talking about, what your angels are talking about here. Okay, so it's important that you continue to bring in that harmony and do your best to stay on that higher road for yourself, right? Stay in that heart is what I'm hearing. And it's really important that you also recognize that whatever you just kind of cut off or just stepped away from, you have to leave it back there, okay? Because you can't bring this into this new start with you. It's going to create a whole other, I don't even want to focus on what it's going to create, because what we focus on is what we create, okay? So I want you to just focus on the greatness that you have done at achieving balance for yourself emotionally, and how you've been feeding yourself emotionally, and how you've been feeding into your relationships, most importantly, because that is the grounds that you are stepping on. You just created and cultivated some new soil for yourself. Plant those beautiful seeds. Okay, so even when it comes to relationships in 2021, right? What type of relationships do you want in your life? What do you want to invite more of into your life? Okay, and include people. I'm hearing there's some notion, there's something to do with it's important that you include everyone, even those people that for whatever reason I'm hearing you've pushed to the side, right? But they're still there. They're still trying to get through to you. They're still trying to have a relationship with you, or connection, or however you want to look at it, right? Yeah, that's all that's coming through. You guys have been doing a good job. Good job of keeping harmony. Good job of feeding into yourself, most importantly. And I know with everything that's going on, right? Like Aquarius are very collective signs. They can also come off as very eccentric. So, in relationships, they're not entirely there. They do the best that they can. They're kind of like our aliens, of the human race. Very different individuals. So for you guys to have attained harmony with others, most importantly, that's a huge win. Okay, Aquarius? So be proud of yourself for that. Pisces, your love, that beautiful, divine, accepting, open, nurturing, compassionate love that you just exude at all times. It's legit moved mountains for you, hasn't it? You received the Ace of Swords. So when this pops up, it's showing that the worst is behind you now, my lovely. Okay? You have conquered. You climbed up. Now you're right at the peak. This is also, because being an ace, this is talking about new beginnings. So again, the worst is behind you. You're stepping into a whole new world, another chapter for yourself, right? Which these are so fitting, this whole notion of stepping into this newness, this, right? Because we're going into a new year. So This is showing that whatever you've been working toward, or however you've been working, like you've definitely seen just about everything this past year. Like this last year has really hit you very hard, Pisces, in many different ways. Um, you know, perhaps even many of you may have made mountains out of molehills, and that's okay too. And maybe you're recognizing that now. However, that awareness is huge. Okay. Now, Ace of Swords. Swords is the suit of air. Air works again with our mental mind, right? So this is showing you that you have cultivated new space. Okay, so whatever it is that you've been doing, you've been meditating, however you've been just really working with this mind, whether it be the subconscious or the conscious mind, know that you have done amazing for yourself in releasing, surrendering what doesn't serve you, so that way you have a clean slate to really bring in what does serve you. Okay, and what is going to assist you in bringing forth your vision and creation for 2021, most importantly, is what I'm hearing. You received the oracle card that says nothing is yet set in stone. So that is such great news for you, because not only do you have this divine new beginning that's being presented to you, right? And even just these new mindsets that you have received and achieved and worked to get there. It's also saying that no matter what, nothing is set in stone. So nothing's neither good nor bad. That's a beautiful starting point. That means that you have a completely clean slate, right? So it's really important that we use our mind, because our mind generates thoughts. Thoughts generate energy, right? So make sure you're using your mind to work with the energy of what it is that you're wanting. You have a very divine space where you can create whatever it is that you put your mind to. Okay, so Pisces, what is it that you're wanting to create? And I know when it comes to getting a little bit more serious and repetitive, I know you don't like that. You don't like the repetition of things. You know, I mean, I understand you appreciate consistency, but you're very free spirited. You know, you like to just kind of go with the flow of things, right? And this is saying, great, go with that flow, do what you feel you need to do what's best and comfortable for you. However, make sure you're using your mental mind to work with you. Okay, so whatever it is that you're wanting to cultivate, do not self-sabotage it with just going with the flow and being, a leaf blown around by the wind. Okay, I want you to recognize how you have the power to be that wind. It starts with your thoughts. Okay, so if you want something, please set yourself up right now and find those steps, right? Figure out whatever it is those steps are and go for it, because you can attain it. Whatever you put your mind to, you will get it. Okay, remember, where there's a will, there is always a way. And this is coming to tell you that nothing is yet set in stone. Okay, you have this beautiful divine, so it doesn't matter where you've came from, what you just been through. I mean, of course it divinely matters, absolutely. Every single piece of our life, every single part of our journey really comes together to really give us a fuller, more richer life, right? However, this is saying that you have this beautiful ground to stand on, and it's a new ground. I want you to take a look, take a deep breath in, and just look at, like, I want to share with you the vision that I'm getting. It's like you just climbed up to the top of this mountain, and you're right at the top, and you take a deep breath and you look around and you see all the mountain scenery around you, and you look down and you see this rich, beautiful valley, and you see all the places that you want to go to in this beautiful, rich land. You see, all the spaces, all the places, even the people, exactly where you want to go. Okay, and this is kind of what your angels are encouraging you to do right now, because you have this moment to be able to look at the picture and paint it and go to where you feel drawn to, go to what resonates for you. Okay, but it's important that you create that plan for yourself and you execute it. And not only that, keep yourself in alignment with what it is that you want. Okay, so if you find yourself doubting yourself, it's very important you take yourself out, because whatever you put your mind to, that's what you're going to receive. Okay, so do you want to receive goodness, or do you want to receive shit? Do you want to receive strife, or do you want to stride forward? It's whatever you put your mind to right now. Okay. I hope you received these messages very well.